Hello and welcome. It is the end of the 26th day of April 2019. My name is Derek and welcome to the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and of the like, that's within each's own risk and their own reward. All right, then, let's take a look at this. Yesterday's down session in that of 5.64%. Seeing the price action dip from a little above the 18 highs to a little below the lows. It's pretty much hanging in there now. That's where it closed yesterday's session, and with almost an hour to go, it looks like that's where it's going to close again. A little bit of up movement, a little bit of down movement inside of today's session. As since this move higher, or the move lower rather, we have this move in here, and it just grinded its way lower, really matching this previous low. Now the emphasis of support is coming strong at 5,060, which is this level here. Pierced below here, and the exact hit here on this point. And as far as resistance, it's just a trend line like this. And it's starting to establish some significance at around 51.85. It's close to that point now. Enough for this 18 average is starting to flatten out, at least for the very short term sake, 4 hour time frame, of course, in a little bit of a decline. And amongst the weekly chart, well, we're still correcting through sideways. This is week number 3, really pausing this previous week as far as how the price action is moving along. Enough where, or not enough rather, where the band has caught up to it. Definitely not enough for price action has come close to its my intended target, which is appears above 63 and a half, and it's still noticeably staying above, let alone holding above the 48.41. As we go back to the daily chart again, there has really been no even close of a test, not even close to testing this number. As this low in here was noticeably lower, and since in here it hasn't done anything yet to show that it's going to head lower. If you start to see weakness below 5100 for an extended period of time, then maybe we'd be in line for the possible support test there. But until then, the market is still pausing this move, and it's really either a correctionary move back to this 18, possibly even back to fib at 41, or that play up to above 63 and a half. And theta, I actually did a spreadsheet earlier where I, just for fun, just predicted how I think theta may play out, and if any of the coins I play is anything like this, and I wouldn't be surprised if it were. It's just a very profitable situation so far within the theta price since being listed on Binance in May of 2018. Price action rallied immediately up to about 4,000 Satoshi, piercing down to a little over 1,000, but congesting in the like 1,300, 12, 1,400 area. Had this move in here, but came back quickly, continued to congest the same area it did prior. And then this major breakout over like 5, 6 periods, and then it's been all down since that point. Thus, so far in its seventh. Yep, 7 periods, 7 weeks since that top. And I mean, all the situations where you can sell and buy back, to me, it's just a magnificent situation. And as far as what I created earlier, just a quick example would be something like this. And that would make my day if it could come from this 1800 number and maybe make a move to like, that would be around 11,000. Pull back to somewhere maybe 3,000 or so, 34. Then have a nice little up and down switch move like this, and maybe a fast move up to about a little over 200,000 Satoshi. And then this long, long, long decline. These are in daily time frames, so day like number like 280 down to like day 720. So that would be like 16, 17 months of a bear market. And then just up fast like that. If markets can do anything like this, the profit potential and results are just going to be by far better than immaculate. Because one way I like to look at the trading game is, let's just imagine it from a video game perspective. Because games buy and sell on the market, and on the retro games, there are buyers and sellers all over the place. And imagine there's this game Aladdin. or in whichever game you want to use. That's not even important. But let's just say back in here, people were aggressively buying and selling this game for $1.70, $1.80 at one point, after it was selling for 50 cents. And then all of a sudden, as the days went on through 2016, you were able to buy that and sell it at 24 cents and 18 cents. And then all of a sudden, we can see, oh, $1 game now. Then the next, we'll say a week later, you check, oh, yep, that's no longer $1 a game. So this would have been $1. Oh, we're talking about an $8 game. And then the week after that, it's a $6 game. Then it's a $19 game. Was a 25. Now it's an $11 game. Then it's a $7 game. Then three and a half or three and a third. And still three and a third. And then now maybe $1.29. But people were spending 25 for it at one point. And then all of a sudden, time goes on again. It becomes a $7.50 game. Back down to three, and so on and so forth. And we can see now it's went from almost four down to 216. And if this game store was being sold at this one big building next to your house, we'll say, and I mean, there's just people every day buying and selling these like crazy. They're buying multiple amounts. Like, yeah, they're like, yeah, I want to buy 100 Aladdin games. Can you sell it to me? Yep. And what you can do is you can send your games. Let's say you own, like, say, 142.175 of those games. And yes, you can sell fractions of the games. And you go to the store and you say, sir, I want to sell these games. I want to sell half of them for $3.85 and the other half for $11. Like, the guy's like, okay, we'll do that for you. Then all of a sudden, then let's just say you were saying even back in here. Oh, by the way, sir, yes, your $3.85. Yep, I made that sale for you. No, I'm going to have to take, and let's just assume the sale netted you $3,000. I'm going to have to take my cut. So you can come on over to the store, and then you're going to get $2,997, and I'm getting my $3 from you. And that's at 0.1% rate. And you know what? Maybe some other places may take 4, 5, 6, 7, or $8. Yeah. And this happens over and over where the price ratios just get exuberant. In fact, I did a game that recently with two coins, Florin and Neo. And on the first day, the ratio is 64 to 1. So when you have volatility where 116 days later it goes down four times, or the other one goes up, it's a four times better value from one to the other. And then 21 days later, it does better than double. And then 20 days later, it goes down three times, or triples. And then 3 weeks later, it has an okay 70% uptick. 13 days later, it loses about two-thirds its value, or triples, depending on which one. One loses two-thirds, one would triple. But that would just reverse again 11 days later. And then 1 day later after that, just a small, like, yeah, 21.75 one day, 13 the next, and then 25 days later up to 128. And then the next day down to 87. And then 54 days later up to 933. And a small retracement to 252 on day 310. 70 days later up to 592. 33 days later, a little over a month goes by, down to 269. And then 40 days later, it goes up to 1,000 or 4x. Then 95 days go by, 3 months, a bit more, loses half its value or doubles, depending on which one. And then 61, 3 months later, it goes up to 851. 40 days lower, well, goes lower after 39 days, loses more than half its value. And then 3.5 weeks later, it goes from 353 to 536. Then 136 days, or 3.5 months goes by, and it goes from 536 to 103. And in a month and a few days later, it doubles a bit more. And then just 9 days after the fact, close to, or probably losing half its value. And those were, of course, there were different intradays, highs and lows, and even other closing lows that could have been a little bit higher and lower on each one, but enough to know that if you don't care what direction one goes, as long as you have those wild up and down moves, just being ready for the trades can be fantastic. For if this would have done anything on the opposite spectrum, say instead of going from 64 to 16, it went to 200. But then it obviously would have went down. It would have, say, went from 64. It would have ended, say, at point 0.5. But instead of talking about this going to 1,000, we would have talked about this going maybe a quarter or a dime. And instead of this low being 670, maybe that one got up to a couple hundred or as its high. But as long as they move in volatile fashion, then this trading system is just going to increase the amount of coins. And if one goes way up and the other goes way down, or the ratio overall in playing whatever it is that you're playing, just either does straight up or straight down, well, then if you started with, say, 20 of one coin and, say, 100 of another, well, what's going to happen is the one that does the strongest, or not the one that gets his ass kicked, is going to be a good chance you have less than what you could own. So, an example where, say, this is the coin that does so amazing that you got 100 of them. Well, what could very easily happen is because it just goes straight up, next thing you know, you got like 20 of these. And you got a whole ton of these, but they're becoming worthless of anything. Like, and then if you can manage it successfully, if say you get into something and it does very well maybe at time this goes from 100 to 20, but then markets revert back, and then this number would then rise back, and maybe you got it up to, say, 350. And this one during this time would have went way higher, and then it would have went down, and let's just say it went down to like 200. Literally, because it would have been like maybe 4,000 before or 3,000. But if you're able to get wild percentage moves that occur, then it can work. And for me, I'm just looking at the portions to sell. So, for example, let's just put in some numbers here. Okay, I'm just trying to slide it so that I can draw better, but I have to push an annoying button first. That one there. Okay, let's do. So say if I got a 10% move, a 20% move, 50% move, and this is the upside, 70, 100, 225. How much of what I own do I want to sell? Well, in this case here, if you sell less than that number, like 8, 9%, you're kind of doing okay. But I don't like selling this low amount, so I'd probably sell about 5 to 6% of what I own, and that's like there's a reason I need to liquidate out or accumulate on one side, throwing those factors away. If I'm just going to sell just whatever, then be 5%, 6% of what I own. But if I'm getting a 20% gain, well, I know 2 divided by 12 is 0.183. I'm pretty sure on that one. So I know if I could sell up to 18% of my stack, and it would be worth after the sale those coins what remaining, of course, than what it was before. So I'd technically sell my profits of the move. So generally speaking, I would sell about maybe 12%, maybe. This one is easy on the 50% because if a market goes from 1 to 1.5, that means you have 1/3 better value. So I want that under 30%. So 20, 25, somewhere in there is what I'll sell. And then 70%, well, 7 divided by 17. That's what, 40%. So maybe I could do like in the 30 plus percent mark. When the market doubles, you can technically sell half of that point. But, and even like 30 to 44%, I would say normal. And when it's over 20, like 225%, or even 200%, you can sell like 2/3, and it would be worth the same. So at 225%, I mean 55, 60% of what I own. I might try to make a sale that way. And to end this video, let's play one of those games very quickly. It'll be NXS, Nexus and Sphere. If you want let's copy, click on the publish button. Click on the import button. I'll push the publish button here. And the code you would put in is QHK306. So if you want to play that before I play it, you can pause the tape, get the game in, and then you can see how you do compared to how I do. Okay, so I'm probably gonna continue doing this. Is fun for me. I enjoy this. I probably should try to make this game better and whatnot, but I don't like computer programming. And now that I got the general copy, I haven't done anything to change this really. So we're starting with 1000 of NXS 1962 sphere. Let's go for major percentage declines like 1.1 and then say 3. So it goes to 1.08. And this is the one that I showed the thing that goes I think I don't know. This is a different one. Okay, so anyway, this goes to 107, so let's sell the SPH. We're at 1900. Let's go ahead and sell 230. Okay, now we got 0.9, we'll go 0.75, maybe 1.6. It goes up. Sell 200 of the NXS here. Wait for a buyback at 1, maybe sell it like 290. Goes down to 0.94. So we'll sell maybe 675 of them. 0.62, 1.55. And then the art and how much you sell. I mean, and when you sell a whole bunch in a row, the buybacks are different. That's definitely that. It's just an art, it's a trade. And the more practice, the more you understand it, and the more smart you are mathematically, the better it's going to be. So here we got the price on day 55 going up to 2957, owning 1100. So let's sell 300 and so. Okay, from 295, let's wait for $1.06 or 5.3. Goes up, so let's sell 300 of the 812. And I'm not caring when I trade this which goes up, which goes down, just rather when it gets there to make the trade. Okay, so it went from 550 to 290. I own 5,000 of these. If I liquidate 1,200, I'll pretty much double my other stack. I can handle that. So let's now go for like not carrying again. Well, if it goes under 1.7, I suppose I could make a trade, and if it goes over 4.2, and well, it did there. So let's trade 300 of the 920 and wait again for the next one. Say a break below 3 and a rise above say 9.3, which it goes up. So 622 again. I can sell a good chunk of that 250. Wait for the pullback, maybe to 5.5, maybe 18 going up. And that's a major move. That's where we go from 9.5 to 2.685. So I can sell a whole whack of those 7,700. So tackle like 4,600, 4,800. And now let's wait for like 1.5 or say 4.9. Goes down even more. That's even more than half again. So the 3,100, I can go like 14 and get 1, 2, 3, 5 or over 1,200. So let's wait for a deep pullback, I guess, to 0.6. And it goes down big again, 0.486. So as long as I always sell enough, I can never technically run out. But I'm tempted to sell more than half when you get these types of moves. And there's even just a pullback there. So I sold 825. I could just buy those 825 back. And then now just go again, wait for say 0.35, 1.1, and it goes down. And of the 1780, let's go 8, like close to 9. Wait for like 15, and then when it's up again, you can go like, well, I don't want to sell until it's like 79 now. It's been down so much. Well, there we go. It's at 0.8, day 262, or 0.74. I pushed the wrong button. But we'll say, okay, I can sell like 900 of these, and I would gain 665. That's not a bad gain. So let's wait again for the trade. Go like 3.5 down, maybe 1.5 up, and it goes to 0.94. So again, a major, major, major decline. I can sell like 1,000 of those 1,500. Wait now for like 11 point. for the low number. And again, when it's getting its ass kicked like this, I can do better than a 2x move easy. There we go. There's a 61. So of the 10,000, maybe I want to liquidate. Well, actually, I can even just say, how many spears do I want to buy? I have 522. How about if I buy 750? Would that be cheap? Damn right at 1230. So now let's wait for the buyback at point 0.3 or go over 1. Goes over 1. And now we can start selling a little more aggressively. Maybe 1100 here. Even a little bit more than that. Say 1450. So I have more SPHR than I did before. Decent decline there, but I want cheaper. Let's go 55 and 22. So there's a cheaper move. So 29.52. I can sell like 12.50 of them and get a good number back. Wait for say 0.28. Wait for over 1. It goes down. So I can sell like 1,000. Because that's a big move going from 51 to 18 handle. So I can sell 1,000 of the 1,700, get back 55, and wait for it to go 0.08, and then again, like the big moves, like even 0.5. So of the 16, I can probably go like 47, and I get like 2,000. I don't need that many right now. But I wouldn't mind getting like 1,400 if it's going to be that cheap. And it's going up again, but let's wait for it to go to a quarter over 1. And there's a big move, like triple. So of the 13,000, I can do more than half again, like 79.50. Get like 12,000. Wait for it to go like 0.8 or like 2.8, not caring where it goes, so it goes 782. Okay, that's fine. If I got 14,000 of these things, I could easily get rid of 6K or 6,000 of them. Double the NXS again. Wait for say down to 0.4, maybe 1.5. It goes up, so the 13,000, getting rid of 5,000 is very easy, almost doubling my other one. So we'll wait for 0.8 down, or say 2.8 up, and it goes down, losing half. So the 15, definitely going 5 again, making, I think, it's always a good play. As long as your coins don't go, as long as one of them doesn't go to nothing. Definitely both is bad, but if one of them goes way up and one goes sideways, barely loses, that's going to be huge profit still nonetheless. If they both go up, well, that should go without saying. 0.5 is pretty low now that I think about it, but might go lower. 0.4 I want to go. There we go, 0.23. So of the 10,000, that's better than half again, so let's sell about half. Now we'll wait for 0.12 or say 0.5. It goes to 61. So maybe sell 15,000 of the 36. Then just getting sick numbers along the way. So 32 buy, 110 sell, and that's it. So we ended this game owning 21,000 and 15,000 respectively. And that's a 21x gain here. And that's about a 7x gain on the SPHR. So when markets trade like this back and forth, really all this does, this trading system, is guaranteed that your numbers are going to go higher for what you own, and it's going to be dependent on your volatility. The value of those coins, of how much they're worth, is, it doesn't know, not by this. But in that situation, when they happen to be really good, that's when you can sell those coins against Bitcoin and wait for cheaper decline. So if both coins go up at the same time, yes, you'll continue selling one coin for another, but there'll be times when you take one or both those coins and just sell them against Bitcoin. So one coin goes up 10 times, one goes up 16 times. You sell them both and you wait for like 3x, 4x, 2.5x type moves lower. Or whatever, 60% down, 40% down, however it is that is on your preferred volatility. And then when the Bitcoin, your portfolio value is worth a lot against the dollar, profit take, and then whichever measures is best suited for yourself and how you do so. And then understanding how much you can profit take is pretty much similar to how you buy and sell here. Okay, my portfolio is up this. I can technically afford this percent, or I was worth, say, 100 units. Now I'm worth 7,000 units. I can easily take 2,000, be worth 5, and I'm still doing well in the game. Just mathematics and that type of nature. And then when we examine coins that just do very, very well as far as its movements. I'm thinking if anyone to me was saying, okay, I want to trade two coins and I want to do it on Binance, and I'm just going to buy whatever amount of Bitcoin, I'm going to buy 50% of it on one coin and 50% on the other. I would probably go with this coin and Theta together and then just trade them back and forth. For when we look at this one in here, it had its significant move here on, say, March 10th to March 11th. It went way up. And then you had on February the 7th how it went up about 80% and then giving most of it back. And then scrolling back again for anything of major significance, just even moves like this. And just out of an example here, on November 20th, it managed to have a low at 5,000 and just a move up here. Nothing of major significant notes. I guess last year, I guess we can count this one. On August the 14th and 15th, it had a 2x move. And I suppose that's all I'm going to show for that. But the whole point of it is, if I go to the theta chart, okay, so what happened on March the 10th here? Let's see here. This thing went up on the exact same day, completing its final leg higher. So that would have been an interesting situation if you were trading those two together. I didn't research in advance to see what those dates were going to mean. I'm finding out for the first time here. So when you're a spot, you're trading them and they both go up, you're like, man, the ratios. Well, technically, I mean, if one is up 3x and the other's up 2x, I mean, then you're talking about a 30-40% move on the other side. You'd sell them both against Bitcoin, and we can see how they both pulled back in that time, and it would just have worked out. Now, on February the 7th, this was up 80%, giving most of it back. So February the 7th would have been just doing a bunch of stuff in here, and so it was reflected on here. But the whole move up would have been selling mainly this coin for GRS, and then this move down would have been buying them both. And then, of course, this day here, November 30th, you would have had lots of sell orders fill, and you could then get some nice GRS back on that as well. So August the 14th to the 15th, it went up 2 times. So here, this is just interesting when you look at this. Because if on the 14th and 15th, it had a 2-day gain, this is when this declined from 1177 down to 1028. So even further the ratio those 2 days. And then if it had the decline after that, this thing went from 1,000 up to 1,500 on 16 and 17. So let's look at GRS at 15 and 16, or the 2 days after it. So yeah, 16 and 17 of August. Well, it wouldn't have given it back, but in time, of course, it did. And again, it's just a mathematical form of by division, being able to play within it. And when you do the order spot, let's just assume you have orders in and okay, 76, 72, buy order fill. Okay, well, how much did it cost you for that? Now you can turn around and sell your other coin for that same amount. And the more trades you can get in systems like that, especially with good volatility, profit potential, especially with markets as it is now, from the point to where if we see it like we did in 2718, where Bitcoin's going up big, altcoins are going up together. You do the spots where you're supposed to, where all the altcoins are up, you sell them both against Bitcoin. Doing stuff like that, if it were to take, and hopefully, I'm not going to say hopefully because I don't care for this one, but if it were to take, say, 500, 600 days to make like to a point, say Bitcoin $250,000 or say 175, then I gotta think within this type of trading mechanism, getting profits of like 1,000 times and 500 times is child's play. And profits of like 20,000, 50,000 plus times is most certainly available when we have the monstrosity of volatility that is amongst these cryptocurrency markets. Thank you for tuning in. I didn't plan on doing a 31 plus minute video. I planned on doing about a 17 to 20. I didn't even think I was going to play that game afterwards just for a bit. I thought, you know what? Why not? It's fun. Some people enjoy it. And some people like to play it as well because I gave the code for it. Thank you for tuning in to this Friday evening video, and I'll be back with you on a Saturday. Take care. Bye bye.